If I told you that your dog is quietly judging one thing about you every single day, would you believe it? It is not how much money you spend on them. It is not how many toys you buy. And it is not how perfectly you have trained them. Instead, your dog is constantly asking one silent question. Are you the person I can trust when the moments that matter most finally arrive? The remarkable part is this: they already know the answer, and they reveal it through tiny behaviors that most dog owners never even notice. A brief glance in the middle of a crowded park, the place they choose to fall asleep, the way they respond when something unexpected happens. To us, these moments seem completely ordinary, but inside a dog's brain, they are the result of thousands of emotional calculations shaped by trust, memory, hormones, and millions of years of evolution. Modern research into canine behavior is revealing something truly fascinating. Dogs do not express deep trust through dramatic gestures. They express it through quiet decisions they do not make for just anyone. Today, we are going to explore 5 of these hidden behaviors. Each one will help you understand how your dog truly sees you, and make sure you stay until the final sign, because it may be the strongest biological evidence that, in your dog's eyes, you are far more than the person who fills the food bowl. You are the place where they feel completely safe. So, what is the first sign? Chances are, you have experienced this many times before. You finally sit down after a long day. Just a few seconds later, your dog slowly walks over. In their mouth is something familiar. It might be their favorite ball, a well-worn stuffed toy, or even a sock they quietly stole from another room. They are not running around. They are not asking you to throw it. They are not barking to get your attention. Instead, they gently place the item beside you. Then they simply look at you in silence. Most of us immediately think, they want me to play with them. And sometimes that is true. But researchers who study canine behavior believe that, in many cases, this small gesture carries a much deeper meaning. It may be one of the oldest ways dogs know how to say, I trust you enough to share something that matters to me. And what makes this even more fascinating is the question that follows. Why does a dog's brain see such a simple act as a powerful expression of attachment? That is exactly what we are about to explore. Here is what makes it so interesting. To a dog's brain, not every object has the same value. Some are simply toys. Others are deeply connected to scent, memory, and a sense of security. That is why many dogs become attached to an old tennis ball, a worn-out stuffed animal, or a blanket they have had since they were young. When they deliberately bring one of these treasured items to you, their brain is making a very special decision, not to keep it for themselves, but to allow you into their safe space. Researchers who study animal behavior believe that voluntary sharing is one of the foundations of social bonding in many pack-living species. Even after living alongside humans for thousands of years, dogs still carry this instinct within them. So the small object they place at your feet is not always an invitation to play. Sometimes, it is a quiet statement that says, you are someone I am willing to share what I value most with. And if this first sign is about sharing, the next sign reveals something even deeper. There are moments, lasting less than a second, when a dog's brain instinctively turns to one person before making a decision. If your dog does this, there is a good chance you have become their emotional compass. But there is something even more fascinating. If your dog simply wanted to play, why do they so often bring the item to you, then quietly lie down beside you? They do not bark. They do not urge you to do anything. They simply choose to stay close to you. That is not a coincidence. Researchers who study canine behavior believe that moments of sharing like these help strengthen the bond between dogs and the people they trust. When a dog feels safe, their brain releases oxytocin, the hormone that promotes connection, trust, and a sense of calm. Perhaps what your dog truly wants to share is not the toy itself. Perhaps what they are really sharing is their presence with you. And the next sign is even more remarkable. In the blink of an eye, your dog's brain will instinctively turn to your face before deciding what to do next. Sign number 2. Imagine you are taking your dog for a walk. Just like any other day, everything feels calm. Then suddenly, a loud noise echoes somewhere ahead, or a stranger unexpectedly walks toward you. You might assume your dog would immediately look toward the sound. But not always. Many dogs will turn and look at you first. It lasts only a brief moment. Sometimes, less than a single second, as if they are searching for an answer that only you can give. Most people assume they are simply waiting for a command, but researchers who study canine behavior say that this tiny moment reveals something far more meaningful. It is one of the clearest signs that your dog's brain has already chosen the person it trusts to decide whether the world around them is safe. Picture a situation that is probably very familiar. You are relaxing in your living room. Suddenly, a loud noise comes from outside. Your dog immediately lifts their head. Their ears stand upright. Their body becomes slightly tense. For a few seconds, every one of their senses seems focused on that sound. But then something interesting happens. Instead of rushing to the door or barking non-stop, they turn and look at you. You remain calm. You do not flinch. You do not seem worried. Just a few seconds later, something remarkable happens. Your dog's body begins to relax. They lie back down. They continue resting as if nothing had ever happened. So, what just happened? You never gave a command. You never said a single word. So why did your dog change their decision simply by watching your reaction? The answer lies in the way a dog's brain processes uncertainty, and it is also one of the clearest expressions of trust that science has ever documented. Scientists call this behavior social referencing. Simply put, when dogs encounter something uncertain, they look to the person they trust before deciding how to respond. What makes this so remarkable is that a dog's brain is not just listening to sounds. It is reading your facial expressions, your tone of voice, your posture, and even your smallest movements. In an instant, their brain pieces all of those signals together to answer one simple question: am I safe? That is why so many dogs quickly relax again when they see that their owner remains calm. They are not simply looking for a command. They are looking to you for a sense of safety. And if your dog regularly looks at you before reacting, there is a very good chance that, in their mind, you have become their most trusted emotional compass. But there is an even deeper sign. It is revealed by where your dog chooses to rest when they do not need anything from you. Sign number 3. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and found your dog lying just a few steps away from you? They are not lying on top of you. They are not asking to be petted. They are simply resting there in silence. Many people assume this means their dog wants some space. But the truth may be exactly the opposite. There are plenty of places to rest in the room. A softer bill, a cooler corner. Yet somehow, they still choose to stay close to you. Not because it is the most comfortable place, but because your presence makes it the safest place. And that quiet choice reveals far more than most people realize. What makes these moments especially meaningful is that they usually happen when your dog does not need anything from you. They are not waiting for a meal. They are not hoping for a treat. They are not asking you to throw a ball. They simply walk over, settle down, and gently close their eyes. Many people assume it is nothing more than coincidence. But in reality, dogs rarely choose a resting place at random. When they fall asleep, their ability to observe their surroundings and react to danger is greatly reduced. Because of that, their brain naturally favors the places where they feel the safest. And what makes this even more fascinating is that sometimes what makes one corner of the room feel safe is not the soft bed or the perfect temperature. It is simply the fact that you are there. But science has uncovered something even more remarkable about this quiet decision. Researchers who study canine behavior believe that the place a dog chooses to rest reflects the way their nervous system evaluates the world around them. When a dog feels completely safe, their body gradually relaxes, their breathing becomes slower, their muscles release their tension. Their brain also stops constantly scanning for signs of danger. That is why a dog's favorite resting place is not always determined by the softest bed or the coolest spot in the room. Sometimes, the most important factor is simply the person who is nearby. If your dog regularly chooses to lie beside you while they relax, what they are really saying may not be, "I need you." Instead, it may be, "When I am with you, I can truly let my guard down." But there is an even more remarkable sign. It is revealed by the way your dog looks for you, even when they are surrounded by countless exciting distractions. Sign number 4. Open the door and let your dog explore the yard. There is the scent of fresh grass, the sound of birds singing, countless exciting things waiting to capture their attention. They run off, sniffing every corner, as if they have completely forgotten that you are standing behind them. Then, just a few seconds later, something unexpected happens. They suddenly turn around. They look at you. Just one brief glance. Then they go right back to exploring. You never called their name. You never gave them a signal. So why did they turn back to look for you? It is not a coincidence. It is a behavior that scientists have studied for many years, and it reveals that no matter how fascinating the world around them may be, your dog's brain still wants to make sure that the person they trust most is still there. Scientists call this behavior a secure base check-in. In simple terms, it means that while exploring the world around them, your dog intentionally checks to make sure the person they trust most is still there. What makes this even more fascinating is that young children show the very same behavior. They may run all over a playground, but every so often they look back at their parents before continuing to explore. Dogs do the same thing. When they glance back at you, they are not simply checking where you are. They are reassuring themselves that everything is still okay, that their place of safety is still right behind them. And if your dog does this often, there is a very good chance you have become the secure base that gives them the confidence to explore the world around them. But the final sign is even more extraordinary. The final sign. Of all the behaviors we have explored today, this one may reveal the most. Not because it is rare, but because it is directly connected to a dog's survival instincts. Imagine a quiet afternoon. Your dog is lying beside you. Their breathing becomes slower. Then, little by little, they roll onto their side, exposing their belly, close their eyes, and drift into a deep sleep. Most of us simply smile because the moment looks so adorable. But to a dog's brain, this is far more than a sleeping position. It is a decision that happens only when every signal in their body is telling them one thing: I am completely safe here. And that single decision reveals the deepest level of trust a dog is capable of giving another living being. Most of us simply smile when we see our dog lying on their back, their soft belly exposed, sleeping peacefully. It is an adorable sight. But to a dog, it is much more than a comfortable sleeping position. When they fall asleep like this, their entire body relaxes. The tension disappears. The constant state of readiness fades away. For an animal that has relied on instinct to survive for thousands of years, this is a very significant decision. So what makes a dog willing to let go of the vigilance that has been part of their survival for millions of years of evolution? The answer lies in the way their nervous system decides when a place is truly safe enough to rest. When a dog feels completely safe, their nervous system shifts from a state of alertness into a state of rest. Their breathing slows. Their muscles relax. Their brain no longer scans the environment for potential danger. That is why they are able to fall into such a deep, peaceful sleep. In the wild, exposing the belly is an extremely vulnerable choice because it leaves the most sensitive part of the body unprotected. If your dog lies on their back and sleeps soundly right beside you, it means that, in that moment, they trust that they no longer need to defend themselves. It is one of the deepest expressions of safety and trust that you can ever earn from a dog.
Now, take a moment to look back at the 5 signs we have explored together. A treasured object brought to you to share. A quick glance toward you before reacting. A favorite place to rest close by your side. A brief look back while exploring the world.
And finally, a peaceful sleep with their belly completely relaxed. Each behavior is small, easy to overlook, but when you put them all together, they tell the very same story. Not that your dog has simply learned to obey you, but that they have learned to trust you. That kind of trust is not built in a single day. It is shaped by the hundreds of moments when you chose patience, the times you responded with kindness instead of frustration, the moments when you made them feel safe in a world full of uncertainty. So, if today you recognized 1, 2, or even all 5 of these signs in your own dog, think of them as a quiet thank you, not spoken with words, but expressed through every choice they make to stay close to you. If this video helped you see your dog in a different way, let us know in the comments how many of these 5 signs your dog shows. And do not forget to subscribe so you can continue exploring the incredible discoveries that science is revealing about the emotional world of dogs. Because the more you understand your dog, the more you will realize that what they want most is not a perfect life. It is simply to share their life with the person they trust completely.